makes less money than you. Never get business advice from somebody who's got a smaller business than you. Never get relationship advice from somebody who's got a failed marriage. Or get friend advice from somebody who's got
I really wanna why. She already heard about me. She's already point out pop.
Rolls-Royce? This is your Rolls-Royce. And what do you do for a living out here in Tampa to be able to afford a Rolls?
I'm a healthcare entrepreneur, and I own the largest medical sleep testing company in the United States.
Is this your Rolls-Royce?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Tampa to be able to afford a Rolls-Royce?
A hedge fund for digital assets.
What's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
I own a hedge fund for digital assets. Nigga just got handed that.
$5 million.
$4.5 million. But I was sued by a couple billion-dollar corporations, actually, for one of my companies that I own.
Is this your G-Wagon?
I hope so.
What do you do for a living out in Tampa to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I'm a lobbyist and a publicist. I have a consulting practice.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
$1.4 million. But I'll say that with a caveat, because the following year, I almost lost it all completely.
You're sitting in a lot of people's dream car right here.
Yeah.
This shit did not come overnight.
No.
How can somebody get a Rolls-Royce in today's world?
Let's see.
Tampa, Florida is home to over 50,000 millionaires, and today I'm going to be going all over the wealthiest parts of Tampa to ask multi-millionaires and the most successful business owners in the entire city how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially.
Why does he always wear like terry cloth, super thick, short sleeve, but it's hugging his shit? Like, I don't know.
This year in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this
It's
video on the
always
way.
like clothy material. Why?
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Rolls-Royce?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Tampa to be able to afford a Rolls-Royce?
I'm a healthcare entrepreneur, and I own the largest medical sleep testing company in the United States.
How long have you been a business owner for?
I've been a business owner for about 28 years or so.
28 years. Over these 28 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
I'd say multiple eight figures.
And I go all over the country just asking business owners their advice
He
to
has
young
the same
entrepreneurs. Is it
script
cool if we
every
ask you
time,
questions
though.
outside of the car?
Yeah, let's do it.
As a multiple eight-figure entrepreneur, what's been the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your career?
Best advice I got, and this doesn't go with just finances, okay? Never get money advice from somebody that makes less money than you. I'm gonna repeat that. Never get money advice from somebody that makes less money than you. Never get business advice from somebody who's got a smaller business than you. Never get relationship advice from somebody who's got a failed marriage. Or get friend advice from somebody who got no goddamn friends. Like, it's simple. He's laughing. It's true. It's true. Everybody does it, right?
Have you ever been broke before?
Oh, dude, I've been so broke. I just showed you a
mediocre.
picture. I had $78 in the bank. I had $78. 9 years ago, I had $78 in the bank account. That was my available balance. So that means that if I had outstanding checks, it was gonna overdraw my account.
Healthcare is a very competitive industry to be in. What sets you apart from 99% of people in the healthcare industry?
Every industry is competitive, and I actually salivate at the mouth when I find out an industry is competitive, because what does that mean? It means there's a lot of people in it. Less than 1% of the companies in the country do over $10 million in revenue, right? I'm talking about it's like 0.07. It's a really small number. What does that mean? There's a very small percentage of people that are willing to grind like a gorilla. And if you're willing to grind like a gorilla in the markets that are competitive, you're always gonna win. Dude, it's so easy now.
Oh,
Like,
that
most
was
people are
some-
walking
that
around like
was some shit.
zombies.
That
And
was
just
some shit.
drinking their latte schmate. And so if you're remotely savage, slightly savage, you can dominate any industry. I mean, think about it. Like, I was the smallest player. My biggest competitor, dude, when I was a senior in high school. How old are you?
21.
21. Okay, man, you guys are killing it for 21. I'm 48. I just turned 48 last week. My biggest competitor that went bankrupt was in business when I was in high school. And they went bankrupt in 2018 because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Right? So that we became the largest in the country. So think about that. They never thought that some kid from high school, from Leicester, England, Tallahassee, Florida, was gonna put them out of business.
Yeah.
That was the result of dedication and hard work.
You got amazing advice, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you,
I
bro.
appreciate you, man. So we just pulled up on my guy in
That
his
was a real
Rolls
nigga.
Royce, and it turns out he's running one of the largest healthcare companies in the entire world. And he just laid out the blueprint on what it takes to become a top 1% entrepreneur in today's world. Mind you, 9 years ago, he was broke with $78 in his bank account, but he put his mind down, he learned how to delegate, he learned how to sell, and became one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the entire state of Florida. Great interview, and with that being said, let's go get this next one. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Rolls Royce?
It is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Tampa to be able to afford a Rolls
I own
Royce?
A hedge fund for digital assets.
Yeah?
Like Bitcoin, Ethereum.
How long have you been a business owner for?
10, 11 years now.
Over the last decade, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
A couple years ago, it was $4.5 million.
$4.5 million.
Yeah.
What is your best sales and negotiation advice for people out there? Let's say that they're struggling to close deals, they're struggling in meetings, they struggle with clients. What's your best sales and negotiation advice for any business owner out?
Assume the close. Assume the close. When I'm talking to people, I'm already assuming the close. I'm talking to you like you're already my
That's
client.
smart.
And one of the biggest pieces of advice that I tell any of my guys is make that person laugh. If you're trying to close somebody, make that fucking person laugh. Because nobody's gonna say no to someone that they like. That's my biggest thing. If you're on a sales call, make that motherfucker laugh. That's it, man. That's it. That's my biggest thing. If you're on a sales call, make that motherfucker laugh. That's it, man. That's it.
What was the lowest point in your career as an entrepreneur?
You want to go into that? All right.
If you can,
Yeah, I can. I can't say who, but it's or what I should say. But I was sued by a couple billion-dollar corporations actually for one of my companies that I own for tortious interference of contractual relationships. Ultimately, fortunately, I won, and I had great business insurance to cover a lot of it. So that's another piece of advice: make sure you got business insurance.
Do you think everybody can be an entrepreneur?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. This is not for the weak. It's not for the weak-hearted. It's not for the weak-minded. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to run into obstacles, and your job is to constantly fix problems. So if you can't handle that stress and all those trials and tribulations, then don't do it. Right. Don't do it.
You're sitting in a lot of people's dream car right here.
Yeah.
This shit did not come overnight.
No.
How can somebody get a Rolls Royce in today's world?
Figure it the fuck out. That's it. That's all I got, man.
My bro, we smoking though. Yeah. I'm with my bro and he poke me up. Yeah. I'm with this bitch and she cool as fuck. Yeah. I'm with this bitch, I just coolin', bro. And my fist is filled with colors, bro. Yes, I'm fly for real, something like that. And I make sure my bitches feel all my love. And this though my best friend, I'm kicking shit with my bud. Damn, I'm so high.